Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of The Flash, and we got a glimpse into Earth 2. So we started off the episode with it and we ended with it as well. And we got to see Dr. Wells, who is still working at STARS Lab. He has a daughter. They've invented a phone, a watch app that can alert people to metahumans. And we see Jay Garrick show up in Earth 2, and he confronts Wells, and he basically tells everybody that he's a liar, that he should admit that he is the reason why all these metahumans exist, that it is because of his particle accelerator, and that he needs to fess up to this. So when we get back to Earth 1, we have a new villain in town, and it's Dr. Light. And that is actually played by Barry's ex-girlfriend, Linda, the one who works at the newspaper magazine site where Iris works as well. So it was good to see Linda still around. We saw her briefly in, I think, the opening episode. But it's nice to see that she's back, and she's not a love interest, but she is working still at the newspaper, and now she has a doppelganger out there, and that was interesting. So she was the villain in this week's episode, and she made Barry go blind for while he was on his date with Patty. Terrible name, by the way. Oh, sorry for all those Patties out there. My bad. Yeah, so Linda was the villain, and actually Linda, the real Linda, saw herself as the doppelganger and was completely blindsided by that. And, I think one of the good things is that everybody in Central City knows that there are metahumans out there. So, now when people are talking about them, it's not like, what are you talking about? Everybody knows that there are metahumans out there. In fact, everybody at STARS Lab found out that Cisco is actually a metahuman thanks to Dr. Wells's watch app, and he basically called out Cisco in front of everybody. And it was good that Cisco's truth finally came out, so that was good to hear. It was nice to see Iris giving Barry some advice. I kind of liked it more when she was working at the STARS Lab with the gang. I feel like she's a little too far removed when she's at the newspaper, but she's a journalist, so I guess that's the storyline we're sticking with. She had a couple scenes with Barry in this episode. Not too many, but, like I said, they're pushing away the love interest between the two of them. I think they're more focusing on their friendship, and they're allowing Barry to examine this new relationship with Patty, which was fine and kind of fun when Barry went blind and he was walking around Stars Lab and bumping into everything, and then when Iris had suggested that Cisco be the one to help him on his date, and then he's like, right, he's walking up and down the lab looking for Cisco, and in the wrong complete direction, and then Cisco's sitting right there. I thought it was just completely adorable. And then he's on this date and he's got sunglasses on, and it was just completely a disaster. But he didn't want to stand Patty up, so I thought it was really cute. And I think that they make a cute couple, and they kissed, and it was nice and everything. I'm not sure if I love the angle that they shot that kiss at from down below. I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird and out of place. But it'll be interesting to see how long they keep this secret away from Patty. I mean, she knows there are metahumans out there. She doesn't know that Barry is the Flash. And it'll be interesting just sort of like how, they had Iris in the dark for a very long time, which was one of the reasons why I felt like that relationship just wasn't going to work. So it'll be interesting to see how long they keep Patty in the dark with Barry's truth. So we'll see. And I loved how everybody's reaction when they saw Dr. Wells was, fool me once, right? And so everyone's very apprehensive about Dr. Wells. Nobody really trusts him. They're not sure, what his motives are for being there. So it'll be interesting to see. And I like that scene when Jay's basically like, he might not be the same Dr. Wells, but he has just as many secrets. And it's like, yeah, you can't trust any of these guys. They're all holding back some bits and pieces of information. So that is just not going to be good for Barry and the team moving forwards. I just have a very big suspicion about that. And then, of course, we had Cisco putting the moves on a new barista at the restaurant that Iris used to work at. So Cisco's getting his mojo on, and I thought it was kind of cute. Yeah, this episode was pretty cute all around. I thought it was pretty solid. I like the villain of the week. And, of course, ever since they opened up the singularity, we're getting all these metahumans and they're all there with the intent to kill Barry and with orders from the Zoom. And in this episode, we also had a lot of resistance with the Flash from Earth 2, and he obviously doesn't trust Dr. Wells because he knows him from his planet, and Dr. Wells was really stressing that the Flash in Earth 2 was not fast enough for the Zoom, and that the Zoom was the one who was chasing after the Flash and not the other way around. It wasn't the Flash chasing after the Zoom. Zoom was the one kind of tormenting the Flash in Earth 2. So, they were having some definite tense moments and scenes in this episode. But I thought it was good to sort of get all the cobwebs out and let them go at it, whatever, and let that be done. So it looks like Jay is leaving, and not Caitlin's not a big fan of that because I think she obviously has a crush on him. They almost kissed in this episode. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week when the show returns. We got a brief conversation about Iris and her mom, but she seems to be acting as though everything is okay, but let's face it, it's not. So I have a feeling that that's all going to bubble over soon enough. She did pull a gun out on Linda from Earth 2 to save Linda in this Earth, and I thought that was kind of cool because, showing her that she just didn't cower away when she was up against danger, that she stood up for herself. So that was kind of good. Not too many scenes with Joe in this episode, but, that's okay. He was still there and present, and obviously still a great dad and great mentor to Barry when he can be. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I thought it was pretty good. And we'll see what new baddie comes into town next week and tries to put up is the newest threat to Barry. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.